Now next type is the limit order. When the consumer specifies a certain price and requests the transaction to be executed, only a specified price or a better one is obtained, otherwise not. So limit means that when the person put a limit, either upside limit or lower side limit. For example, consumer has put a limit on the stock exchange. We can explain this with the example too. So the example can be, for example, a person has given the limit order to the broker to execute the stock or to execute this share of Reliance Communication, that is RIL, at the prices of rupees 210 per share. Now here the person has given the limit. So limit means that after the price, the limit has been reached, the consumer has to, or the price or the stock will be assumed to be sold at the given price. For example, now let's he has bought a share of RIL at the rate of 200 per share and has put the stop loss limit stop loss limit at the rate of 190. So here he has put the limit. So if the price reaches this limit, the consumer will the broker will sell the stock for the consumer. So here this means the limit in which the consumer specifies certain price and requires the transaction to be executed only at the specified price or the better price which is obtained, otherwise not. For example, if the stock price, if the consumer has given the order to buy the stock price of the particular commodity at the rate of rupees 200, so the better price will be if it is available at the rate of 190, and the price which is not favorable will be if it is available at the price of 205. So either the price specified or the price which is better or otherwise not. So this is the limit order. Next, stop order. Investor informs the member or the broker to trade at any price once the market price has reached a certain level, used to protect losses, preserve profit, and take new position. Now, what is stop order? It is again known as a stop loss. So stop order means, for example, a consumer has bought a shares of JP Infratel at the rate of rupees 2 per share. Now he has given the instruction to the broker to trade at any price which is above 3 or above 5 rupees per share. So if the price has reached, so if the price has reached up to rupees 5 per share, now it is the responsibility of broker to execute that price and preserve the profit. On the next, if we on the next other side, which will be the negative side, if the price falls to rupees 1.50, so here if it has been given the order that if the price falls below 1.75, then execute the order without my consent to avoid the losses and to protect the losses. So here the stop order can be executed for both of the side. That can be for the one side, that can be upside, another upside to preserve the profit, and the lower side to protect the losses that may occur. Now next is the stop loss. Just like a stop order, as we are discussing here, stop limit order, the investor instructs the broker to enter into position after the market price has reached a certain level. So for example, limit price may or may not be equal to the spot price, first thing. Because limit price is the limit which we have set. Spot price is the price which is actual price. Limit price is the price which we have already, which we have given instruction. For example, the price above this will not be considered and price below this will not be considered. So this is the limit. So the limit is set by the person who is doing the trading in on the exchange, whereas a spot price means the price which is actual price of the exchange. Now next example, an investor who took a long position in SBI. Now long position means to buy low and sell high. To buy low and sell high. If the long position is taken on SBI at a price of 350, me instructs the broker to sell if the future price falls below 350, but not accept less than 330. Now here he has given the stop loss limit order. Stop loss limit order means because first thing that he has entered into the position of 350. Now it means that long position means that he will only sell. He has the assumption that the price in the future market will raise to 350 per share. Now, as we know that market is not in the hand of one person, it acts on the real-time system of buying and selling of the commodities or the stocks. So here, if the and he has also given the stop loss limit to the broker that sell the share if the future price falls before 340, because he can bear the loss of rupees 10 per share. Next, but not less than 330. Now here it is a stop loss limit, that is stop limit order, that beyond 330 he will not be able to bear the loss. He don't want to bear the loss beyond this. So here the stocks must be sold beyond this. Moving to the next, market if touched. So this is another type we will start. That is, so market if touched means if the investors instruct the broker to trade at whatever price can be obtained once the market has reached a certain level. So, for example, if the person has assumed that the price of the particular commodity will reach at rupees 500 per share, then he has given the order, that is market if touched. So he has given the order to the broker that if the price touches, he has entered into future contract, that is a long future, that is buying low and selling high. He has entered into the long future contract of rupees 500 per share. Now, if the price has reached 500 per share, then the contract is assumed to be executed by the broker, because market if touched. If the market is touched at the 500 per share, then the broker will sell the share at any price which should be above that. That is, if the once the market touches the predetermined level of the share price, then the commodity can be sold at any time at any price above that. For example, the technical analysts who believe that the market will reach on the extreme before turning and wish to trade as soon as the price is reached. So as soon as the price is reached, he will do the execute the trade. Next is the alternative order. When the investor put two orders but wants only one to be filled up, which limits the potential profit order. So here, what is it? For example, if the consumer who entered a long position of SBI share at the rate of 350, long position means buying low and selling high, may instruct the broker to sell if the price either increase to 360 or fall to or goes to 340. So here now it has given the two orders. One is to buy, one is the long order, and if he has already entered in the long position. So if the price reaches 330, 360, then he will be in the profit and he will execute the long position. Whereas if the price falls to 340, then in the long position that he has taken, he must have the loss of rupees 10 per share. Next is the contingent orders. Now broker is asked to take certain position if the price of another contract reaches at the given level. So if the person is entered into two contracts and the price of one contract reaches a certain level, then it has been already given in the instructions to the broker to execute that contract. Next, spread order. Spread order required a certain difference between the prices of a opposing contract rather than the specific prices. So if there are two opposing contracts, for example, spread order means to buy one thing and to sell another thing. For example, to buy one future of the copper and to sell the another future of the iron. So here there are two opposing contracts to be sold, or the person has entered into two option contract. One is the long future contract of the aluminum, and the second is the short future contract of the aluminum. So here, rather than specific prices, the two different prices of the opposing contract are being done. Now standardization. This is another topic of the future market, that is the standardization of the transactions. Now as we know that all the things standardized means to set the standards. So all the things which all the transactions which are being done on the stock exchange, commodity exchange, future exchange, national commodity derivative exchange, and all the exchanges are standardized. Now standardized means the set standards are there regarding the transaction. If the person is entering into the transaction, he or she has to act according to the set standards of the stock exchange. He cannot violate the rules and regulations of the stock exchange, because this is not allowed. So the standardization of the public transactions, or this is also known as the standardization of the public transaction. So standardized term set by exchange on which future contracts are to be traded. So standardized are the terms which are set by the exchange on which the transactions are to be done regarding the future contract. For example, only gold future contracts are traded at a commodity exchange, that is COMX in New York. So this is the example that now here only gold standardized the transaction, that is a gold future contract. So here the stock has issued the conditions and terms and conditions that only future of gold will be traded and no other commodity will be traded on this exchange. Next, benefit of now what are the benefits of standardized of the specification? Standardized specification is concerned in the few contract resulting in the more liquidity of the contract. Next, future contract specifies every aspect of the deal regarding the asset size, price, limit, future period, trading hours, delivery, settlement, etc. Now here the standardized means that all the things must be specified and standardized. So here all the things which are specified or standardized in the stock exchange are: first is the asset. Now which asset is to be bought or sold in the future contract? For example, a one lot of 3 month iron future, 3 month, 5 lots of 1 ounce of gold future. So all these are the standardized. First thing, asset. Now size. Now what should be the size of the transaction? Let's take a one future of iron ore will contain 100 tons of iron. So if the person is entered into the future, so here into the future contract. So here the future of the contract, here the size of future contract is 100 tons of the iron ore. Second is price limits for the future period. Now price limits for the future period limits set by the exchange, so that price beyond the should not go beyond the particular set defined price, and also should not fall the price. Next is trading hours, for how much hours during the day the stock will be traded, how the deliveries of the commodities to be done, and how the settlement and etc. Now, explaining one by one, first is the asset. As we hear, what is the meaning of asset? First is on the commodity future market, the asset commodity like food grains, metals, oils, gas, etc. So all these things are known as the asset, as we have already given the example. Next, the financial future market, physical assets like equity, debts, currencies, etc. So here on the commodity market, these things are known as the assets, and on the financial market, financial future market, the financial assets like equity, debt, shares, currency, etc. are assumed to be the asset. Now next, specifying the asset, exchange must stipulate the grade or grades of commodity which is acceptable. Now grades of commodity means, for example, 99995 fineness of the gold, that is the quality of the gold. 189, sorry, 95% of the pure iron. So it is how much purity will be accepted on the, how much purity of assets will be accepted on the stock exchange. Next, for example, specification of the deliverable grade of gold is given as refined gold in the form of 100 ounce, 100 ounce bar, means one bar of the gold will be of 100 ounce on the three 1 kilogram golds array not less than 995 fineness. So here the 3 kilo gold bar will be there. One bar will be of 100 ounce, and the purity must not be less than 995 fineness. So this is the fine quality of the gold. So it must be not below that. Second, financial assets problem is quality does not arise, because in the financial asset, if we say that, for example, no need to specify the grade for US dollars, UK pounds, sterling pounds, UK dollars, UK pound or sterling pounds, or any. For example, if you are having a currency note of rupees to 2,000 rupees, then it is 2,000 rupees only. So there is no, we cannot define the quality of that particular thing. On the other hand, if the price of the one future of the SBI is 340 rupees, so we cannot say that just share is not a pure. It is not possible. So in the financial market, it is not. Next is the contract size. Next important thing is the contract size. Now contract size means specify the amount of asset to be delivered under the one contract. For example, 10 tons of gold, 100 ounce of gold, 10 tons of iron ore, or one ton of copper. So this is the amount of asset which is deliverable under the one contract. Suppose if under one contract, if 100 ton of aluminum is available, then the person wants to buy 500 tons of the aluminum, he has to enter into the 5 contract, because the size of the asset under one contract is 100 tons. Next, contract size. For example, contract size or trading unit in Chicago Board of Trade CBOT is 100 ounce gold future is 100 Tory ounce. So here it has been defined. Next, continuing with the slide, if the contract size is too large, and trader will be hesitating and will have speculation position. For example, if the contract size is very much higher, So first thing, that trader will avoid trading on such things, because if we say that one future contract of iron, that is one contract, one 3 month future contract of iron is of 1000 tons. So it is not possible for the every trader to enter into this, and this will give the raise to the speculation position, because only the person who can do the speculation can enter into such contract. So secondly, if the contract size is very small, then the trading may be expensive. Means, for example, a 1 ton of iron ore, 3 month future of 1 ton of iron ore. So here the quantity the it is very less. So the holding charges and all the charges, that is transaction charges, transportation charges, holding charges, all will be more in the case of if the contract size is very small. Next, contract size of contract is very important decision and depends upon likely of the users. So this is till here. Next, the delivery month. Now, what is the meaning of delivery month? Delivery month means the when the commodity is to be delivered. For example, you are entering into the 3 month future contract today. So if you are entering into 3 month future contract today, it is clear that it will be delivered on the May, June, and July, because you are taking position today, and the future contract is to be executed on some future date. So the date in which the contract is to be executed is also known as the delivery month, in which the contract is to be executed, and the delivery of the commodity is to be done to the person, either who has bought or who has bought the commodity by the person who has sold the contract. Where contract month identify the expiry cycle of the deliverable dates. For example, if it is a 3 month future of the gold, then it is clear that it will be expiring on the month of in the month of July. So it will identify the expiry cycle. Next, delivery month varies from contract to contract and chosen by the exchange to meet the requirement of the market. So it depends upon the exchange that how much delivery. For example, 1 month future contract, 2 month future contract, 3 month future contract. So it depends upon the exchange, and it varies from the contract to contract and as per the requirement of the market. Now, exchange specifies when the trading of particular month contract will begin and the last day on which trading can take place for a given contract. So it is also defined by the exchange. So when the trading will start. For example, if you want to buy a 3 month future of the gold, so for example, if the trading starts from 21st of the April to 30th April. So this is the time so when the trading will take place for the particular contract. And after that, no person is allowed to enter into that contract. Now, next is the delivery arrangements. Place where delivery will be made must be specified by the exchange. For example, in this, the warehouse receipts. Generally, the person, now here we can say that we have entered into future contract. Now, what is the document in which the future contract is done? It is done on the basically on the warehouse receipts. So warehouse receipts are the receipts which are given to the person against the commodities which has been stored in the warehouse. So here, now the warehouse from where the delivery can be taken must be specified by the exchange. For example, for the if you are entering into the contract to buy 10 tons of the wheat, then from from which warehouse the wheat will be delivered must be specified in the contract, and it must be registered with the exchange. Only then it can be executed. Next, most important for the commodities, then financial instruments due to transportation cost incurred on the delivery of goods. So, for example, if we are entering into the commodity market, then we have also have to pay the transportation cost. Whereas in case of financial instrument, the transportation cost is zero. Here there is a transaction cost. Now, next, obligation of the seller and buyer of the future contract to deliver the underlying asset during the contract expiration period. So it is the obligation of both the buyer and seller, buyer to buy and seller to deliver the commodity or the underlying asset during the expiration of period. For example, a person has entered into 3 month gold future today. So in the month of July, when the contract is to be executed, if the seller, so here the seller has to provide a gold to the person who has to buy the gold, and buyer has to buy the gold from the seller. So it must be there. Next, future contract also specify a first notice day, that is position or presentation day. First thing. Next is the last notice day, and last trading day, that is the delivery day. So there are these things. So it's specified, that is position when it should be presented, when the notice is to be given, and when the delivery is to be given. So this is regarding the delivery arrangements. So next, that is the daily price movement limit that we will be discussing in upcoming lectures. So thank you for the today. If you are having any issue, any questions, any problems, you can ask anytime. Thank you.